Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone watching. Welcome back to the OS World Cup 2023. It's time for our second round of 32 match, a matchup between the third seeded United States, the first time they have ever not been the first seed in the tournament since the usage of qualifiers started in 2019 in the OS World Cup, versus seed number 30 in Thailand. Don't let the seeding fool you, though. This matchup is potentially more interesting than it would look on paper. My name is Dio, and I'm joined for this cast by the one and only Mavs. Good morning, Mavs, or good afternoon, Mavs.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon to all, and thank you very much for the lovely welcoming. I'm very excited to be here again in for OWC, my second year casting here. And yeah, we've got a pretty good matchup, I'd say, for this second match of this year's OS World Cup. I think, as you said, Thailand is actually a little bit of a landmine for the United States. Now, does that mean I think Thailand could potentially win the match? I mean, maybe it's a stretch, but they have some very, very good round of 32 players in this Thai roster. I think some of these players are ridiculously good and, a force to be reckoned with, really.
They definitely do have a very good early stage roster, particularly in Lesperi and Chess in particular. Those two players terrorized the ranked restricted tournament scene for a while before finally ranking up to beyond the point where they could play 4-digit tournaments anymore. But that being said, the United States is still one of the favorites to potentially win the tournament, as they are every single year. This roster with Bashiman, Cheeto Blast, also known as Kama, Fiery Rage, Rectagon, Taquito, Vaxei, Window Life, and Woodchi is still one of the best rosters in the entire tournament, and frankly, an upset here in the round of 32 would be one of the biggest upsets we have ever seen in the OS World Cup. So I think the full expectation is for the United States to win in this matchup. The question on everyone's mind is by how much of a margin, rather than whether or not the United States will win this match. But don't count Thailand out completely. They do still have the potential to upset, of course, banning out some speed picks. That's the one area where Thailand really did tend to struggle in the qualifiers. And the United States, of course, banning out some of the gimmick maps in the Hidden One. This week it is an AR8 CS5 Flow Tech Hybrid Hidden One, which is very, very tricky. And of course, the United States instantly first picking speed, as this roster is pretty strong on speed, especially in comparison to Thailand.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the quickest ban and pick phases I think I've ever seen. So we're actually almost getting straight into things here. So we've got the instant speed pick from the United States. As you said, Thailand, definitely their weakest suit being in that speed area. They do have a player in terms of Master this year who came in specifically for these DTs. I don't know if he's going to be in for speed. Definitely kind of like a DT1 oriented player, more of the generic kind of aim. But we do have a couple other players coming in this year. Arigato being one of them is going to be in for a lot of these speed picks, it seems, coming in for this DT2. And of course, the Lesperi and Chests, just kind of the staple for this Thailand roster. Lesperi this year in 4WC was just ridiculous. Probably by far and away the best performing player in 4WC. So keep an eye out for him. Mind you, this is speed and it is going to be Thailand's weakest skill set. So I'm not expecting an upset here by any stretch of the imagination. But of course, we're going to have the US roster come in as well. Vaxei finally making his return here in OWC, joined by Woodchi and Window Life, who are definitely new and upcomers for the United States. If you want to talk a little bit more about them, Dio.
Yeah, both of these players are speed players through and through. That is what they're on the roster for primarily. Both Window Life and Woodchi can play some of the Hard Rock picks as well, and you may see them fill on those if a member of the core roster is particularly uncomfortable on one of those maps. But for the most part, on these DT picks, you're going to see two members of the core roster. In this case, it's Rectagon and Vaxei. Could also see Kama and Taquito on some of these speed picks, depending on the type of map they are, alongside Window Life and Woodchi, who are two of the best speed players in the United States. I think if you're looking at speed players to put on a roster like this, you're looking at among tournament players, these two in particular, right? Erison and Scytho are not really tournament players, and so you're not going to be looking at them. You're going to look beyond them to players like Woodchi and Window Life, who are shred demons on some of the speed maps. This should be light work. for most of these players, especially Winchi and Window Life, who are frankly comfortable on much higher BPM and much longer streams. This is a round of 32 speed pick, so I don't expect them to have all too much trouble on it. And actually, everybody besides Woodchi having a pretty easy time so far for the United States. Woodchi just dropping the AC a bit down, but already a break from everyone on the side of Thailand except for Arigato. So it's looking pretty good on the first pick for the United States so far, a quarter of the way into the map and already a very large score lead.
Yeah, and this one in particular is just going to be pretty much 2.5 minutes of straight tapping, a little bit of finger control in there at 220 BPM. So have to see if that catches anyone off guard. We're going to have Arigato going down there as well, followed by Lesbury dropping a little bit earlier in the map. Still the four-way holding for the United States, and there is no FCs on the board for Thailand. So things are already looking very, very favored to the United States, as you may have expected. They actually doubled the team score, over doubled the team score of Thailand in the qualifiers on both of the speed maps. So this is very much to be expected. I think these speed maps are going to be by far and away the most one-sided maps in the match. You know, I think maybe when we get into those aim picks, you know, we might see some much more closely contested battles. But for now, yeah, this is just a slaughter. I mean, this is just a four-way instantly for the United States. What else do you expect, really?
Yeah, I mean, Window Life was, I think, number 2 USA overall ranking last year. He was a very, very high-ranked player purely off of speed. Is still number 2 USA, ahead of Flary, ahead of Scytho, primarily with speed and maps, rank 14 global. So you're going to expect Window Life in particular to be really, really comfortable on a lot of these speed picks. And then same goes for Woodchi, who is still top 100 with pretty much all speed maps in his top plays. And this is why these two were brought on the roster, is to round out skill sets like speed, where sometimes their core roster isn't going to be as comfortable. That said, I mean, you still have the double FC on both Vaxei and Rectagon as well. So the core members still pulling their weight more than in the first pick for Team USA. And I think qualifying as third seed made them maybe a little hungry in round of 32. Looking very good for them to
hungry
start.
Indeed. Yeah, because they're going to kick things off with a four-way. There it is, a 4.65 mil from the United States, actually. Just straight away. They're not here to be messed with. Like you said, maybe getting number 3 in those qualifiers really kind of sparked something. They're not going to start things off slow whatsoever. Like they have maybe, a couple years in the past. I think US kind of renowned for always losing maps in the very first round of OWC where no one would expect them to.
That's something you really want to be renowned for, but unfortunately, it kind of held true for a couple of years in a row there. Not the case right now.
Yeah, Turkey incident, of course.
Israel incident last year, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's just an incredible showing there from the US. Of course, as you'd expect, Thailand not really having a full 4-man roster for speed, and I think that's kind of how things are going to be this whole tournament. I think I also want to mention as well, still pretty great of Thailand to qualify this year. Probably doing a round where I think most people would expect after losing some of their big hitters, ones that come to mind specifically being Phantasma, Salvatore last year. Salvatore playing very, very well for them on kind of low AR and just hidden maps in general. And also losing someone that I think a name that people usually wouldn't bring up was Chaipak Chet, who last year played extremely well for this Thai roster. So losing some big hitters for Thailand, still coming in and qualifying. And we're going to see now if they're able to kind of carry on the tradition and put a point up against the United States in the round of 32. And they're going to kick things off with the Hidden 2, which, no, is not going to be the ARA.
This is actually AR9 awkward aim for the Hidden 2 in this round. Hidden 1 is actually the low approach rate map. This is also... Hidden 1, by the way, is the only OS original in this round, made by Cygnus. This one was the announcement for Will Stetson joining the featured artist lineup. So this is now a featured artist song, and happy to have Will Stetson on. It's mapped by Lucent. Pretty standard wide angle, awkward aim sorts of jumps. Lots of wide angle jumps, lots of anti-aim where you've got high spacing into low spacing and vice versa at these kind of really awkward angles. It's pretty stock standard for a lower star rating early round pick of this style. And you're going to see a lot of the kind of staple hidden players for the United States, as well as a couple of their core roster. In this case, Vaxe and Taquito coming in from the core roster, and Bashiman Fiery Rage coming in as the hidden specialists for this map. Both of them on the roster to play the hidden maps and anything gimmicky that the core roster doesn't really feel that confident on.
Yeah, and we're going to have, of course, Lesbury and Chests, as I mean, we're going to see them two players in for pretty much every map on Thailand, joined by Depiforce and Kadama. Depiforce kind of being that player in for Tech and Hidden this year, it seems. So, you know, don't count Thailand out on a map like this, and also don't think that they're just picking kind of the generic sort of aim maps in the pool just because they're kind of more 50-50 orientated. I would say Thailand is one of the very few teams, just in general, in both, you know, 4WC, 3WC, and OWC that have an actual good aim roster. Like this team is actually really good on aim consistency. And I think a lot of that comes down to Lesbury being as consistent as they are, as well as Chests. So we'll have to see if they can put one on the board. If there's anything they're going to do it on, it is going to be kind of your generic aim, although this one is a little bit more awkward than maybe they would like. But, you know, they're very, very good at hidden, of course, you know, that hidden one being banned out against them. So I think there's definitely a chance here, and we're going to expect more aim picks from them going into this match. But early on, it's going to be Kadama to find the first break for Thailand, still a 7-win.
Yeah, and this is a pretty consistent hidden roster from the United States as well, with chess breaking there now as well. It's starting to pull away pretty quickly in the favor of the United States, already up above 75k is the score lead, as Bashi, Fiery, Vaxe, Taquito all still holding on to the full combos right now. Collective 2 100s among the USA team, with 0 breaks or misses between them. Still very good scores for Lesbury and Depiforce right now, but unfortunately there's not much Thailand can do about the 4-way full combo going on the side of Team USA at the moment.
Yeah, that was a very tough break from Chests, by the way. So that's not a great way to start things off. Very much could still be a 3-way for Thailand. Very, very unfortunate break for Chests. But yeah, the 4-way going strong as Bancho tries to get things under control. See if maybe Bancho can kind of mess with the match a little bit here. And then Vaxe misses now.
Nice try. Nice try. It doesn't work the way you want it to. The curse only manifests when you're trying to help someone. Then it comes in to spite you.
That's very true.
Right. Yeah. That's not how it works, unfortunately. You can't call it at will. That's an advanced skill for only the most sadistic of commentators. All right. And we're going to have to leave that one on the table.
With USA 4-way, like every map this match, I'm rooting for it, of course.
It would actually be that would actually be a statement match if they 4-way full combo every single map. But no, there it is. There it is. Nice one. Nice one. Good job, man. There goes Taquito on the miss there. As we do our best to manifest the commentator curse. Unfortunately, it's going to find its way over to Team Thailand as well. Kadama going to find the break. And at this point, I mean, that's 400,000 score up for the United States. 3-way full combo still intact. Kadama and Chess missing once again. It's just Lesbury and Depiforce. They're going to see that at the break. And with 3 full combos still intact for the United States, I don't think there's really any doubt this is going their way as well. They're going to be starting up 2-0 in the first match of round of 32 for the United States.
Yeah, and I mean, a great performance from 2 of the players on Thailand at the very least. I mean, Lesbury, the one you would expect to kind of be up here. I mean, of course, he is just one of the most consistent players in this game on these low ASR pools. I mean, he's just insanely consistent. I don't know how the guy does it. Depiforce, so coming in for their first map.
There goes Vaxe and
OWC 2023. Oh, wow, yeah. Fire Rage finding a break, and Vaxe as well. So it's just actually just the Soul FC. Lesbury actually finding a miss. I've cursed him right at the end. Yeah, Depiforce coming in for their first map this OWC, pulling out the FC. So that's always a good confidence booster. And like I said, yeah, this one was much, much, much closer than the speed pick, as things kind of are going to be. But we're very much going to be expecting another speedy pick here, I think, from the United States. And fortunately for them, there is a lot of maps in this pool that are kind of just 230 BPM. So I think they have a pretty wide array of choices here, and they are going to go with number 2. I don't see it in the chat. Yeah.
Gonna be Nomad 2. It's already picked. Map's already selected here. Also want to shout out the X100 full combo from Boschman on the side of the United States. So 2 full combos in the lobby there. One for Deputy Force, 1 for Boschi. Unfortunately, the full combo from Deputy Force not enough compared to the rest of the team score for the US. And this is probably going to be a repeat of what we saw on DT2. You might be saying, but Dio, isn't Nomad 2 a stream map? Well, let me tell you folks, it's no longer a stream map in this OWC. In this pool, it happens to be a speed map. Maybe it'll be something else next week. Who knows? But right now, it's a speed map. 234 BPM burst consistency. This is about 6.6 stars local and gets buffed to over 7.2 stars online, which tell you quite a lot about how bursty this map is. It's pretty much non-stop with 234 BPM bursts for about 4 minutes. OD 9.4 makes it a little difficult to ack as well, so if you're not pretty solid on your accuracy, you're going to have a rough time there. Expecting Window Life Woodchi to come back in for the United States, and there they are. It's going to be Rectagon, Backsay, Window Life Woodchi for this map. Pretty similar roster for Thailand to the DC2 we saw earlier as well. Lesperi, Chess, Dama, Arigato in once again. So pretty much the same rosters and very similar style of map, just higher BPM, which begs the question of if the map is going to go the same way. I'm going to say probably yes, but you never know. There's always potential.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, the BPM of this map is actually higher in comparison to DT2. However, this one has the stream, like kind of the streamier parts in this map are nowhere near as long as DT2. But, you know, as far as things go, it is still kind of just pretty much a speed map. It's something you would be used to seeing in your kind of general Nomad 5 slots in a lot of different tournaments. But this time around, it's in the Nomad 2, and not only is it kind of just bursty speed, it's also techy. Pretty techy just in general, so kind of a speed tech slot, I would say. But yeah, we'll have to see. Lesperi, Kadama, Chests, Arigato in for Thailand. As you mentioned, the same roster they had in for that DT2, and just the same speed roster for the United States as well. So we'll have to see if there's any chance of Thailand in this one. I'm definitely going to be favoring any sort of speed pick the way of the United States, as we already see 2 early breaks from Thailand. Kadama and Arigato are going to be going down. It's just the Thai duo, the Thai powerhouse duo in Lesperi and Chess holding on for them.
Early miss from Woodchi as well, right about at the same spot as Kadama and Arigato. So 3-way full combo versus the 2-way full combo on the side of Thailand in the favor of the United States as we head into the first bursty section in the map. You can see just triple after triple, quint after quint in this section with single taps all in between. Some more misses to come out of Arigato. Everybody else still holding on to the combo during this section, but Arigato in particular really struggling with holding on to the combo here. 94 ack for Chess though, so even though it's the full combo, it's not adding nearly as much score as you can see from, for example, Vaxay's score, 99.6% ack, or Lesperi's score, 99% ack, is still way out ahead of Chess' score, unfortunately, because of the accuracy. There is that reverse choke on Woodchi and Kadama, so both of them matching. Really, the difference at the moment is just Arigato with the discomfort on this sort of map, and the rest of the United States roster doing very, very well on this one so far. It is still early stage map pooling, and we are still less than half of the way through, so still either team's victory at the moment, but sizable lead built up for the US right now.
Yeah, I mean, Chess just doing what they do best in those low AC FCs, you know. We saw it all year if you watched 4WC. Really just gets a low accuracy and holds the combo the whole time. Just don't know how he does it, but yeah, I mean, we're into this more difficult section. A little bit of a ramp up here, and these doubles into sort of high velocity sliders, and he is going to catch off Chests. He is going to find a break for Thailand. Everyone else holding on. Kadama finding a miss, Arigato finding a miss, and it's just Lesperi for Thailand as US hold on to the 3-way. Woodchi finding another break, but it's not the one that matters. Window Life as well. It's Rectagon and Vaxay and Lesperi all to hold on through that difficult section. And now 2 FCs to 1 into the final third of the map.
But look at the score difference, Mavs. It's 470k and climbing still for the US. There's only so much score left that a full combo can earn for you at this point, right? We're past the 500k mark for all of these FCs, and the score difference now is over 500k. We're in no mod, right? This is not modded, so even if all of the full combos, even if all of the combos break for the USA right now, it's not enough for Thailand to bring this back, and this is pretty much all but over. going into the ending here. This is the most difficult section of the map, streamiest, most stamina intensive as well. And there is the long, I think, 48-note stream at the end of the map to contend with as well if you're holding on to a full combo. We'll see if any of these FCs can manage to hold through that. Lots of breaks on the triple spam there from the side of Thailand, but nobody from the side of the United States breaking, and it's going to be close to a 1-0 team score diff by the end of the map. Yet another very convincing win on speed for the United States up against Thailand here.
Yeah, and I mean, here we go.
Here we are.
Accuracy. Here we go. Let's
450s for Lesperi. He held he still got it.
Lesperi dropped like 2%. 2% gone, but FCs. Yeah, and the double FC for US, of course, the two kind of, I'd say, carries this year for the United States. Rectagon and Vaxei pulling home the FCs. And I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, it was 2 FCs. Yeah, that AC is ridiculous. 7 100s, by the way. But 2 FCs to 1, and the score difference was that big, and I think that's definitely just a testimony to show how difficult kind of a speedy tech map like that is to act, especially for a team that isn't very comfortable on speed in general. It's just that accuracy diff was so large, because not only do you have the speed element to worry about, it's also techie, and there's a couple weird patterns in there and weird bursts. You know, there was a couple 1/3s that really just catch you off. You need a little bit of rhythm to hit them with perfect accuracy, and that, you know, combined with the speed element just makes acking something like that really hard if you're not comfortable. But it is going to be DT1 instantly picked here from Thailand, and you might be a little bit confused thinking, you know, this one is, yeah, it's a weird pick considering they don't like speed. Well, this one is only, I believe, 225 BPM, and it's pretty generic as far as things go. There is, of course, a few bursts in here, a few streams, but I don't think it's anything that Thailand aren't going to be able to handle at only 225 BPM, and there's not too many of them, so I don't think the stamina is going to be clawed away at that much whatsoever, but they're going to be putting in Freeze here for their first map of the tournament.
Yeah, Freeze, one of the players who did play the DT1 for Thailand in qualifiers. Now, DT1 in qualifiers was a little bit different, much higher BPM. That was like 280 BPM in qualifiers, or 275, I think, in qualifiers, with not a single burst in the map, so it was just pure high approach rate DT aim. This one, lower approach rate, lower BPM, and a little bursty. It's not a speed map, though. So I think this is still going to be completely playable for all of these Thailand players in terms of the bursts, and you're just looking at this as a DT aim consistency test, effectively. It's a satellite Senya map. If you have ever played your local 3-star satellite hard diff of Senya, just make this a little bit harder, and that's pretty much what the map is, right? Like, the man has mapped Senya in this style since 1400 BC. So if you haven't played one of these styles of maps, you're just living under a rock at this point. Go check out one of the very many satellite Senya maps in this game. Looking like another DT roster for the United States here. Kama coming in for his first map for the United States this time around, though. Cheeto Blast replacing Wuchi. Wuchi definitely much more of a kind of pure speed player than Window Life or Rectagon or Vaxei. And especially Kama, very, very well-rounded with high BPM bursts and high BPM aim, but not so much the kind of longer streams that you find in the Nomad 2 this week and the DT2 this week. So makes a lot of sense for him to be coming in now rather than some of the other mechanics picks for this team.
Yeah, we've also got, as we mentioned, Freeze coming in, who did play DT1 for them. They played it quite well in the qualifiers, but also Master, who the only map they played in the qualifiers was DT1, and they FC'd it. So we'll have to see. Of course, as you mentioned, very, very different map from the qualifiers, but we'll have to see if they can carry over those performances this week for Thailand and see if they can put a point up on the board. Because if they can, the United States is going to be breaking the curse that has kind of held on to them for the past couple years in the round of 32. Maybe it was the seed #1 curse. Maybe it wasn't the US after all. We'll have to see if I've just, if I've cursed them myself as we move into this DT1. Still an 8-way, as we're about a quarter way through the map here. Everyone holding on to their FCs, and accuracy's pretty good across the board. It is going to be favoring the United States because of the slightly lower accuracies from Freeze and Master, but Lesperi and Kadama putting up very, very good acts themselves. It's only a 60k difference into the first break.
Yeah, really, really good scores across the board right now. I mean, the lowest accuracy is about 97%, but 6 out of 8 players above 99 right now. So very, very good scores for everybody in the lobby. And this is kind of what's expected, right? You have a lot of very, very good DT players on the side of the United States and a lot of very good AIM players on the side of Thailand. And this isn't, forgive the phrasing, this isn't DT enough for this to be, only playable by DT players, right? It's AR10, 225 BPM. So it's really not locking out your Nomad consistency players. And there goes Cheeto Blast. Kama actually with a miss halfway through the map. That is huge for the United States. Kadama to trade it, though, right after for Thailand. And that is so unfortunate. The underdog almost able to take a lead there, but Kadama not quite able to hold on to the combo. And now it's still a deadlock between these two teams. 3-3 in combo. No. There it goes again, though. Master with the trade. Kadama with another miss for Thailand. And when it starts to look like a deadlock 3/4 of the way in, it all starts to fall apart for Thailand. The United States pulling ahead yet again in this match. Up 3-0. Very likely soon to be 4-0 on this DT1. So sad. And Mavs, I have a fun fact for you. If you listen to the lyrics in this upcoming section, this is actually the lyric breakdown in Japanese Goblins.
Oh, I see.
Backstage with a miss.
We love Senyu
Maps, by the way.
We love Senyu Maps. That's amazing. Yeah, Vaxo fighting a miss there as well. Dude, as soon as I heard the solo coming in, I was so worried for Thailand, because you just know, like, every time you hear a solo in a DT1, you're like, okay, here comes the tapping. Here comes the more intensive tapping section. And yeah, of course, Master found the break. And that's kind of where it just went downhill from there. Unfortunately for Thailand, putting up a good fight. 3.55 mil is quite good. But I mean, the second 4 mil score from United States of the match is going to be on the DT1.
Yeah, what are you going to do? 5x100 FC from Rectagon, 12100 FC from Window Life, and I mean, the lowest score on the team is 770k from Cheeto Blast. It's still a pretty solid score overall, only the one miss with 700s. So it's a tough team to beat, right? And that's kind of the point of this roster, is that they are well-rounded enough on every single skill set that it's going to be tough to beat them on any one thing in particular. And that includes ult, despite Thailand being a team that honestly is probably pretty solid at this in comparison to a lot of other rosters. They had some okay scores on the Nomad 3 in qualifiers, and had some all-right scores on the Hidden one in qualifiers as well. This is a relatively straightforward alt map. I think a lot more straightforward to read than something like the Nomad 3 this week. Your hidden players are going to struggle with reading more because of density, and obviously your hard rock players are going to struggle a lot more with the raw aim consistency and aim control on this map. But overall, I think a relatively straightforward free mod 3 pick here from the United States. How do you think Thailand does on this, Mavs? Is it the 5-0, or is the dream still alive right now?
Well, I mean, they are going to have Minecrafter coming in for them for their first map of the match, and Minecrafter last year, from what I remember, was pretty good for them on Hard Rock. I'm almost certain Minecraft is going to be in for that Hard Rock, and you're going to be having Depi Force come in for the Hidden, who so far this match has been playing pretty well. Did pretty decently well on those kind of hidden sort of techie sort of maps in qualifiers as well. This one's going to be kind of ulti. But yeah, and of course, Lespree's been playing like a monster all match. Kadama as well. So hopefully, I mean, there's a chance here, of course. I think having Minecrafter in for the Hard Rock might have to be the difference maker. We'll have to see if they can put something up on the board. I'm surprised to not see chests in. Never mind. There it is. Actually, no, I am expecting Minecrafter in for the Hard Rock, but potentially not happening, because
we'll see.
He is their kind of dedicated Hard Rock player, but yeah, not coming in for this one, actually.
Interesting.
It's going to be, chests, Kadama, Depi Force instead. Lespree, of course, going to be in for every single map, and it's chests on the Hard Rock, so they were swapping that Hard Rock over last second.
It's actually an overmod for Thailand, by the way.
Yeah.
2 hiddens.
Yeah. I think it's worth. I mean, you're at this point in the match, right? You're down 4-0.
Yeah.
Take any advantage you can get. You know, maybe if it gets really, really close, it could be the difference maker. You never know. I don't think this map is anything that's, too favorable for the United States, where Thailand have 0 chance of taking this. They absolutely have a chance in this one. But we'll have to see how things go. It's not starting off good for Thailand as Kadama finds a miss, but Fiery Rage as well is one to trade it. So 3 FCs to 3 early on in this 3.5 minute almost map here. Yeah, this one is kind of just what you'd expect from a more conventional no mod 3 nowadays, but it's just going to be in this free mod 3 slots with kind of mods banked on top of it.
Yeah, not at all surprised about the mod selection for the USA, by the way. Hidden on Takedo is a no-brainer. He prefers to play Hidden on Tiebreakers, for example. And Hard Rock on Rectagon is also a no-brainer if you look at all of his top plays. Yes, he's also very good at no mod, but definitely more comfortable on Hard Rock than either Vaxei or Fiery Rage at this point in time. Vaxei and Fiery Rage both very, very good and consistent no mod alt players. There goes Takedo on a slider break, but it's matched by Kadama on the side of Thailand, so no change in game state, and that's good for the USA. 215,000 score up, ACK advantage, combo advantage at the moment, with the double full combo still intact on Vaxei and Rectagon, and Fiery Rage ahead of Depi Force in combo on the no mod. Still looking good for the USA, but still within touching distance for Thailand on this map. We are only halfway through. Not nearly close to being done with this one quite yet. There's still a long way to go. I'm just waiting for more breaks from the USA. If you're rooting for Thailand right now to take a point, if you have 5-1 in your pick'ems, you are rooting for the USA to break. If you have 5-0, you are praying for the clean sweep and the clean end to this match on the third pick for USA. A lot of very consistent alt players on this team to try and make it happen.
I reckon most people definitely, I wish we could see statistics for it. I reckon most people have 5-1 in their pick'ems, but Chests actually did find a break there, I believe.
Yeah,
which is not good for Thailand. That is one of their mod players as well going down. So it's just Lesbury now trying to be supported by Depi Force and Kadama building the combo back up, but it's still the two-way and the near FC from Fiery Rage on the United States. It's just getting more and more out of reach for Thailand. Can the US finally finish a round of 32 in a 5-0 fashion? It's looking like it, Dio. So far, it's already a 600k score gap. Yeah.
I think it's time to call it, Mavs. It's 5-0 for the United States in round of 32 for the first time, and I don't know how long. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the United States 5-0 round of 32. I'm happy to see it. This is a team that made some controversial roster changes this year with the exclusion of Decatur from the roster, and I think was really needing this kind of mental boost to just be up 5-0 in this match and clear it out cleanly and easily in the round of 32. Very, very convincing wins on every single map from the United States. 5 100s, 1 slider break on that from Takedo. Hard Rock full combo for Rectagon. No mod full combo and no mod choke from Fiery Rage to clean it up as well. Very, very solid scores from Team United States in this match, and I think a really, really solid start to the bracket stage for a team that has, for the first time since qualifiers existed, found themselves not the first seed.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it was the seed number 1 curse, like I said earlier. Maybe it's South Korea's turn this year. We'll have to see.
Everyone with South Korea 5-0 and shaking in their boots right now, Mavs.
Exactly. Like, I wish we could have seen statistics, because I bet you like 90% of people had 5-1 for US. But yeah, they are going to be your winners, so big congratulations to them. And very well done there from Thailand, putting up their best efforts, bringing I think 1 or 2 maps quite close, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. I would have been very excited to see how this Thai roster would have performed maybe in this same matchup if they still had Phantasma, if they still had Salvatore, Chaipug Chet, alongside those powerhouse players in Lesbury and Chests. It would have been a very, very interesting roster, but nonetheless, they are going to be, unfortunately, dropping down to the lower bracket here, and US are going to be moving on into your round of 16 uppers, as expected, I think, from most people.
Yeah, I think all according to expectations so far for the results here in the round of 32. USA sweeping Thailand into the losers bracket. They will face off next against the loser of Italy versus New Zealand. So good luck to Thailand in the losers bracket. The United States, of course, facing off against the winner of that matchup. And next up, we actually only have 3 more matches on Saturday, Mavs. Only 5 matches out of 16 on Saturday. It's Poland versus Argentina at 17 UTC. That is in about 11 hours and 25 minutes. Quite a long time from now. So go catch some Z's if it's late night for you, like it is for me. Otherwise, you may have to stay up a little late for Poland versus Argentina, Great Britain or the UK versus Turkey, and France versus Brazil. Some good matchups coming up, especially I think France versus Brazil is going to be a very, very close match at 18 UTC.
Yeah, absolutely. And also excited to see the return here of kind of this UK powerhouse roster with Bubble Man coming back, the Akali Bed in the form that he has been in, obviously in the kind of on the solo leaderboards. So yeah, excited to see that United Kingdom roster up against Turkey there as well. Poland, Argentina. I mean, everyone's excited to see this Polish powerhouse team who, you know, were extremely close to taking #1 seed, by the way. I don't know if people are aware of how close it actually was, but it was a hair's margin between South Korea and Poland in those qualifiers.
It's so close, they actually had higher average score than South Korea in the qualifiers. Like, which is super close. All that said, congratulations again to the United States. Very, very clean match here in the round of 32. Very well done from them. Commiserations to Thailand, and good luck in the losers bracket. That is going to do it for us. We'll see you all back here in about 11 hours and 20 minutes. In the meantime, you should check out the Osu store and purchase some banners to support your favorite teams. You can once again purchase banners in the Osu store that appear on your profile in support of your favorite teams. And this year, you can purchase multiple. You can actually purchase as many as you want. You can purchase multiple for the exact same team. So you can make your profile, theoretically, with infinite money, you could make your profile infinitely long with OWC support banners. Whales out there, you know who I'm talking to. So go check out the Osu store, buy some banners in the meantime, or just buy one for your favorite team. If you happen to buy the one of the team that wins the entire tournament, it'll stay on your profile until you next buy a World Cup banner, or until the next World Cup starts, whatever is first. So yeah, go check them out. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Congrats again to the USA, commiserations to Thailand. Thanks, Mavs, for commentating with me, and we'll see you in about 11 hours for Poland versus Argentina.
Take care.